Hey everybody, it's Shanika. It's August the 10th, 2026. How y'all doing today? I need to say this, and I'm going to say this. I said this before. I said this months ago. I said this years ago. There's nothing new under the sun. I'm not the only person. Other people, probably your mama, daddy, sister, brother, that told you, or you done told somebody else. But I'm noticing this. I do divination, and I'm very sensitive to energy. I see what others can't see, but I'm seeing this again. I'm seeing this now. No disrespect to anybody that was in a bad place in their lives that now want to get their life together. Again, no disrespect to nobody who was in a bad place. They made bad decisions that's trying to get their life together. Do I believe in change? Of course. I have inspiration transformation by Shanika. I'm all about transformation. So there's nothing wrong with changing. Used to be, say you 40 years old, you're not the same person you was at 25. You're not the same person you was at 35. People can change sincerely, but we as individuals and as a whole must understand that things you have done in the past can affect your present moment or can affect your future. You understand that? So if you have wronged somebody or did something wrong with it, whether you did something to yourself, to someone else, it doesn't matter. They're just like whatever you throw out, you get out, whether it be good or positive. So I need to say this. There are people, and again, I'm not talking about those people that's really changing. You know how you may know people or people that may have been on drugs or just, I'm using drugs for example, because we all know somebody who have been on drugs or crack or, that was something at one time and they got a scare or they decide to change their life or they have a come to Jesus moment or they have a spiritual moment or, they thought about their children. So they used to be on drugs 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago. They're not. They had a moment. They're really changing sincerely. Like, they're really speaking about it, trying to help their neighbor, trying to help others, trying to help the collective to do better. I'm not talking about them that's really and can really accept their fate. Like, they know that, okay, I was on these drugs, I went to prison, or I lost my children, or I lost my family, and they realized and they took it because they know they fucked up. I'm going to give you an example. It could be anything. I'm not really talking about those people. I think people as individuals, all of us has had a moment where we made poor choices, and we learn from them. We actually learn past tests. We learn from them. It's not about perfection, but you learn from it. You can understand, and regardless of what's come from it, you have to accept your fate because you did it. Now there's manipulation. That's why you gotta use spiritual discernment. Know if you're being manipulated or somebody manipulate you or you trying to manipulate. Because some people have done things that was under a manipulation, under illusion. So we'll talk about that another day. So I just want to get that after introduction. So let me tell you my main thing. There are some people that their first 20 years of life, their first 30 years, their first 40 years, their first 50 years, they caused so much havoc. They lied, steal, smear, campaign, did whatever, lied, manipulated, stole, trying to get you fired, fuck, like their choices that they made is really affecting them. Now, sometimes when you do things, it may not happen right then. It could happen. You could have did something. We're gonna throw an age out. Okay, you could have did something when you were 30 years old. It may come back when you 45, or you 45 years old, and something may come back that you did at age 45 may come back when you 55, 65. That's sometimes how it works. I'm going to use karma. You use whatever you want. I'm going to use karma because that's what most of us know. But call it whatever you want due to your own knowledge, your understanding. It comes back. Like, you have to pay that debt. It doesn't matter. I'm just. That's for me, for you, for anybody. And again, illusions having under people under certain spells and manipulation plays a part of it. But I really truly believe that the universe or God is so intelligent that it works itself out. Some people never knew that they was under manipulation. Then some realized maybe a year later, 10 years later, they was under manipulation due to them educating themselves, or they see somebody else overcoming. So there are people, or there will be people that has done things their first 20, 40, 50 years. They know they're fucked up. They know they're coming. For some, they don't. Okay? And now all of a sudden, they into church, or they wanna transform them lives. They want to be better people. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful if you really sincerely mean it. There's certain people, that's why I be saying know people by their fruit. Some people, they just throwing out stuff. You better use your spirit of discernment. If you don't have it, baby, you better ask for it. You better pray for it. You better manifest it. To know what is, what is not. To know who is not. Because a lot of people are performing. A lot. And so going back, there are a lot of people that's, pretending a lot of shit. Got some of y'all fooled. Or you may have the fool. I don't know. But when you as an individual is not taking the accountability of what you have done to others or to yourself, maybe you didn't know, or you wasn't raised like that. I'm just saying, as you grow older, you learn more. You get that. And that's for a lot of people too. But I'm just saying, so beware of these people that's moving in the energy of the first 20, 40, 30 years, they doing so much, whatever it is, and they not taking accountability. Some people want to push it on the road like it never happened. Bitch, it happened. Especially if you done something to somebody else and it had an impact or an effect on their lives. You understand? That's like doing something to somebody that got children. You doing something to a female, she got kids, that can hurt her children. You understand? Or a man, you doing something here that may affect him as a man. And I'm coming from a place of somebody doing something unrighteously doing something. I'm not saying you protecting yourself because somebody did something to you. That's a whole different story. Or somebody did something to you and you protecting yourself. Or you checking somebody. Because a lot of people are being checked. They've been exposed because people are now finding out that either somebody has did some type of energy manipulation, whatever that energy manipulation is to you, have done things maybe 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and now they coming back, they calling down judgment, they want justice, and they put people on blast. That's like, we'll say that's like somebody 35 years old of age, whether they're male or female. Well, stuff could have happened in their childhood, but now they got the courage, maybe they was healing, or maybe just it's the time, divine timing, fated timing, that now they're 35 years old and they speaking about something happened to them as a child. You understand me? So people think, well, I'm a pastor, I'm a mother, I'm a business owner, I'm a teacher, I'm whatever. That happened a long time ago, and you shouldn't bring it up because I don't want that affecting my life. But what about that person's life? So beware of people that they change their life only because they are getting exposed, or they know one day they will be exposed, or that they're like, they'll cause so much havoc. And I be looking through, I can see through people. Like, you only doing this because you know you're gonna get exposed, or they have that notion to where I'm gonna get out my dirt out now while I'm in my 20s, while I'm in my 30s, hell, while I'm in my 40s, and when I turn 50 years old, when I turn 40 years old, when I turn 30 years old, because I've known somebody that told me that, they said, when I turn 50 years old, I'm gonna put it all away. How you gonna put a time frame on that when you turn 50? How you know that you're gonna live to see 50 years old? This was somebody I was seeing told me that. How the fuck? So you gonna cause all this havoc in people's lives, but you gonna wait till you, I think at the time they was like 40 something, but you gonna wait till you turn 50. Do you not know you're gonna have to get an account for that? But so beware of these people. I mean, yeah, people can change. They can. But some people, you know, they say I'm changed. I'm a new leaf. You know, but you still have to give an account for what you did. Some people, they want to run to God or Jesus or whatever and feel like Jesus forgive me and God forgive me. That's your belief. You believe that? That's fine. But baby, you have to give an account for what you did. People think that, well, since I gave my life to the Lord or whatever, you supposed to forget what happened. You don't know if this person been damaged, their kids been affected, their marriage been affected. So, and I'm coming from something that you did unjustly. Things happen for what you did to people, and some people don't get. That's like somebody giving somebody AIDS or HIV or deadly. You know what I'm saying? Something can affect somebody what's called reproductive system. People don't think about that. You know that you got, for example, you know that you have HIV, but you don't tell another person that. You get what I'm saying? Or some people may have an HIV or disease, something like that, and go spread it to multiple people because they don't want about it. What do you not know? You really like messing your life up when you do it that way. So my point I'm trying to make, just be on guard, because a lot of people, they like, I found God and I changed my life around. Well, that's good. You still gotta be accountable. And you got to be accountable for what you did to somebody else. Because somebody else, if they call down judgment, they pray, or they just want to just all of a sudden want to come out and expose you, bitch, you gonna get exposed. And ain't no you throwing Bible verses at them. Look at my resume. Look what I did for the community. I'm a good mother. I'm a good parent. I help people. No, you did that to them. No, you don't know the nights they've been up. You don't know what you could have did to them. And then either you did it to yourself or did it to them. A lot of times we do things to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We really do things to ourselves. We betray ourselves. So you have to forgive your own self. You got to take accountability for your own self. Even when you betray, whether you betraying someone else or betraying yourself. And I just want to say that, beware of these people that say they changed, but they're not changed. They say they changed, but they're not changed. Right? I found God, I'm a new creature, whatever they may say. But I tell people, you better know people by their energy. They'll say God in one breath, but they'll do something in another breath. You know what I'm saying? And if you never hear me say, I'm always coming from the perspective of unjust, for the unjust people. For somebody that did something unjust to somebody. Always, if you don't hear me say, I'm always talking from the unjust. Ask me how I know, because I went through it, and I know the perspective. I think very deeply. I be thinking about things that some people don't even think about or feel, and I feel very deeply. But a lot of people are messed up on a soul level, or on a mental level, on an emotional level, because somebody has done something, or something has been done to them, and you have to get an account for it. It ain't just, I'm sorry, get over it. No. Some people you cannot just say that to. You lucky to have lived another day. And some people feel like, well, the karma or the stuff haven't came back to me, but it could have came back to you, to somebody you love. You wonder how you got fired from a job. You wondering why your life's so a mess. It could have came back to you that way. I'm just saying, you never know. I don't know everybody's life, but you understand. Your car got broken into, or somebody tried to rob you, or something bad. Because for some, I'm not saying all, because I don't know, but you never know. You could have done something to somebody 10 years ago, and now your business been affected, or now your kid been affected, or somebody around you done died. The people don't think like that. They don't think like that. Like, yeah, you have to give an account, whether it be good or bad. You have to give an account, and that shit will come back. So you going to all these funerals. Sometimes you be having blood on your hand, don't realize it. Like in the physical, you think you're good, but the spiritual is not caught up, and it now manifests in the physical. You going to these funerals, And you don't know that you done got blood on your hand because you done said something, done did something 10 years ago, and now your mama is gone. Now your father gone. Now your kid gone. People think, oh, the Lord done took my child, or, my loved one was in a car accident. For some cases, you did that. Don't realize that, because that energy that you sent out, it had to come back. It had, especially if somebody did a reversal, done got somebody to pray for them, or they prayed many nights, many days, for years, weeks, and that shit boomerang to you, and you burying your child, you burying your husband, you burying your wife, burying your mom, burying your daddy, or whatever. You lost money, whatever, or you got robbed. You're like, oh, poor me, oh, poor me. On the outside, it's like bad, but then when you literally look at the shit, you be like, So it just, everybody's story different. Everything happens for different reasons. I'm just saying that everybody. So I'm not just gonna blame something on somebody. I'm just giving y'all a perspective to think about. Sometimes we cause stuff to happen because stuff that we did years ago. And I do understand you could have been under manipulation, under illusions. I get that. People do spell work. People do prayers. People do work. People lie will set you up. Like, I understand that. And I truly believe that the higher power, universe, or something does see that, because it's a higher intelligence. Okay? So just think about that, guys. So watch these people. Even watch you yourself. Claiming I'm a new creature, I'm a better person, but 5 minutes ago you done did this to somebody, or you could have did it to yourself. So remember what you did 5 years ago, 10 years ago can now be a plan in your life now, or will play. What you do right now could affect tomorrow or the next day or the future. That's why you gotta be careful. That's why people be doing stuff they don't think. Their ego, they don't think. Like, what they're doing could mess their fucking business up, mess up their marriages, or they one day want to get married. They one day want to have children. Hello now. You done met your soulmate, or this and that, or whatever. I'm just saying, and you gotta pay that. You gotta pay the piper for what you did. Whatever. Everybody case is different. So I'm gonna let you go. So it's something to think about. It's for all of us. I mean, whether it be good or bad. Just basically what you throw out is shall return. Remember, people got ancestors, they got angels, they got demons, they got sending masters, they got sending teachers, God, whatever you say, God, mother, God, father. I'm just saying, higher power, angels. They got Archangel Michael, different deities. You better think about it. And people and for some, you cannot apologize. I'm going to tell her sorry. You can't apologize. Your ass be at a fucking funeral, fucking with the wrong people. But I'm just having y'all think. Again, people got angels, people got unseen forces protecting them. And you wondering why you sitting up here at a funeral, you sitting why your job or your kids acting the fool, your husband cheating, your wife cheating, or your life going to shambles. Because something you possibly may have done. And a lot of people, they have done things behind the scenes, in the shadows. They did spell work, try to set people up, smear campaigns behind the scenes 10 years ago, 2 years ago. They said, I ain't do nothing for the last 2 years. They not lying. They have not. But that's that shit they did 2 years ago in the shadows. When they was in the shadows, they was doing all that. And then they talk about, so I got my life together, I got my business together, and then that shit coming back. And they think that somebody doing some roots on them. No, that's your shit coming back to you. So think about that. The things you do in the shadows that people don't see you doing, and that shit come back to you. Whether it come back to you, your kid, somebody else. You said somebody doing wrong, something they praying against me. No, that's what you did, and it's only returning. Okay, goodbye.